A MAGA couple in DC just pulled a Carolyn Bryant this week and got an innocent man arrested because they lied, claiming that this man threatened their lives.
So this guy just said he wanted to murder our baby as we were walking past, and now they're gonna put him under arrest. He said, "I'm gonna murder your wife and baby."
Yeah, he literally said that. This guy right there, when we're walking past.
So we're gonna press charges.
He said he wanted to kill our white baby. How sick can people be? This is disgusting. I'm completely outraged. You can't even walk down the streets of Washington, D.C. without people acting like this. Thank God we reported it to the police and they're dealing with the guy.
So what's the actual story, Joel, Tenny, and Sarah Elizabeth? Was it white baby or wife and baby? Because that kind of distinction does not go unnoticed. And you know what else doesn't go unnoticed? A third different story than the one in the actual video when the incident had just occurred, when it was very fresh in you and your wife's mind. Your recap of words was very different than your wife's in the video. And in your caption on Instagram, it's also very different on what it is that the man said to you or that you claim he said to you. The fact that you mentioned that you weren't allowed to carry your 2A lets me know that you were looking to see a deceased black person that night. But unfortunately, you didn't get your wish, did you? Because the reality is, Joel, you're no victim, you're a clout chaser. You are a fanatic looking to incite violence in my city.
Last night, while heading home from Joe's Seafood on 1500 Pennsylvania Avenue, 1 block from the White House, a black man approached my wife and my baby and I and said, "I'm gonna kill your white girl. I'm gonna kill your effing white baby." And he repeated it many times, and then he continued to call my wife a white B-word multiple times. And I had half a mind to stomp his head in.
And then you got upset when you found out that this innocent man did not have a previous record.
I don't have any knowledge of a violent history, not at this time, but let me actually take 1 second. I would have to do some digging into his history in order to be able to get
You might have to do a little research because you got about an hour and a half, and if this guy is a violent offender, hold on, Barb, you don't have to give us any information, but if this guy is a violent offender and there is some legal precedent to hold him, then he needs to be held because he could be a danger to the public and he could go and stab some baby. He could kill some baby.
There's two things you missed in this scenario, Joel. The first one being filing a false police report and then getting an innocent man arrested. And number two, you thought this man was so disposable that putting on the internet that you would never think that this man has community. Well, I have another thought for you. Not only does this man indeed have community, but we will find every single bit of evidence that is necessary to get you and your wife charged. And like you guys, Joel and Sarah Elizabeth, I like using social media too. But I'm also boots on the ground with folks who are heavily within the court system. And while you probably thought that there was no one in the world that would keep that man safe, we keep him safe.
Exactly. I am thinking when these people look at us human beings, they think we are goats. They think we don't have common sense to literally distinguish what is wrong and what is right. Now, if you have been looking for a story that suits an F around and find out a situation, I think this is the perfect one. And mind you, I am thinking this guy didn't even see this coming. He thought this forming up a lie or forming up this story, it will actually work on his benefits. It actually did. And I'm thinking it's going to backfire. He is actually going to pay this homeless black man for accusing him to have done something that he didn't do. Exactly. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It is Sumi here. Just in case you're seeing me for the very first time, I hope you do consider subscribing on the channel. So without even wasting time, let's go direct into today's video. I came across a story that has been so viral on TikTok. It's about a palm-colored MAGA couple that came on TikTok and accused a homeless black man that he wanted to unalive their baby. Now, when they went on Instagram account, they said that or he actually wanted to unalive the baby and the wife, and the story is not even making sense, or it's not even corresponding. It's like as if this story is being formed up because maybe they wanted to go viral, or they just wanted to put this homeless man in prison. Now, do you know what makes this story even more interesting? Is that what they expected is not what they got. Maybe they wanted this guy to rot in jail, to die in jail. The story ended up flipping onto them, because as they were talking to, I think, one of the lawyer said this really doesn't make sense because we don't have any evidence that this man really said it. And besides, this man doesn't have any criminal background to show that he would really have done such a thing to you. So guys, before I start reacting or even going too deep with this video, I want us to first watch these clips together, and I'm going to come back at the end of the video and say something at the end. And also let me know what you think down in the commentary.
So this guy just said he wanted to murder our baby as we were walking past, and now they're gonna put him under arrest. He said, I'm gonna murder your wife and baby.
Yeah, he literally said that. This guy right there, when we're walking past.
So we're gonna press charges.
He said he wanted to kill our white baby. How sick can people be? This is disgusting. I'm completely outraged. You can't even walk down the streets of Washington, D.C. without people acting like this. Thank God we reported it to the police and they're dealing with the guy. Don't bring your kids down here. It's not safe.
Don't bring your kids to D.C.
Not safe at all.
Last night, while heading home from Joe's Seafood on 1500 Pennsylvania Avenue, 1 block from the White House, a black man approached my wife and my baby and I and said, I'm going to kill your white girl. I'm going to kill your effing white baby. And he repeated it many times, and then he continued to call my wife a white B-word multiple times. And I had half a mind to stomp his head in, but instead I went to the Secret Service, which was a block away from us, and I told them what he had said. The man was subsequently arrested, and he has now been brought on charges by the U.S. Attorney General's office, felony charges for felony threats and hate and bias crime. And to have to suffer that after losing our friend Charlie Kirk, who I worked for, and then this, it's unbelievable. And America, you need to do better. Racism, reverse racism, it's all wrong, it's all evil. Turn to Jesus, believe the gospel, repent of your sins, be renewed in your mind, in your thinking, love one another, love your neighbor.
Get a load of that smile when the video ends. Let's move on.
On the line. So my understanding is that you would like us to charge this as a hate crime from the beginning, and so because you were starting to talk about facts of the case, as I explained earlier, I cannot talk about facts of the case without an officer witness on the line. So let me ask you real quickly. So the facts that I understood were that he threatened to kill you, Sarah, and your quote-unquote white baby. Is that correct?
Yes. He said he's going to kill. He said he was speaking to me. He said, I'm going to kill your girl and your effing white baby.
Okay.
And then he repeatedly called my wife a white B-word. And it was for 100% a hate crime. If I would have said that to a black man, his wife and baby...
Sir, I'm going to stop you right here. I am so...
And then they cut the video off because things are not going in the direction that they hoped for. They try to spew their rhetoric, and this woman was not having it. So shout out to her for doing her job. Okay, this is the most recent one, and I want you all to pay very close attention to everything they say down to the caption in this video, because they are so outrageously frustrated that they don't even realize they're telling on themselves.
Bias. Okay.
Yeah.
And then...
So these will be felony threats with a hate bias enhancement. And so what that does is that changes the possibility, the way we... the possibility of sentencing, the kind of plea that's given, plea offer. No, I don't have any knowledge of a violent history. time, but let me actually, one second.
Hold on, Barb. If he, you don't have to give us any information, but if this guy is a violent offender and there is some legal precedent to hold him, then he needs to be held because he could be a danger to the public and he could go and stab some baby. He could kill some baby. A block from the White House. We were on 1500 Pennsylvania.
Like I said, if I have a legal basis to ask for him to be held, I will ask for him to be held. At this time, I don't know of a legal basis for me to ask for him to be held.
Well,
which means the court doesn't have a legal basis to hold him.
Well, Barb, do some digging. That's all I'm going to say. Because if he gets out and he does something, I swear this is going to be very bad for everybody. Very bad for everybody. It's not going to be good for the district. It's not going to be good for the U.S. Attorney's Office. It's going to be national public television. Everybody's going to know about it. I shouldn't have to feel like my wife is going to be killed and my baby is going to be killed, and then some violent offender gets released back on the streets of Washington, D.C.
And we don't even know his criminal background.
We don't know. We don't know who we're dealing with here, so we don't feel safe.
What if it's the same thing like the guy in North Carolina where they let him out 14 times and then he goes and kills somebody? That guy should not have been on the streets, and I don't think this person should be on the streets either.
Any questions?
Yeah, they lying. They absolutely made the story up as they was going. The number of times that they didn't change what the man said is laughable at this point. And I can't believe that they have the audacity to even post these videos to social media as if people would believe them. The acting was horrible. The way y'all propping the baby up in the camera was egregious in itself, because why would y'all even put the baby into this mess? There was no need for that baby to be on camera, because y'all staged a whole scenario and you want to try to get sympathy from people. So you're sitting there propping the goddamn baby on the top of your goddamn chest so that the baby fucking face and head can be in the frame of the camera while y'all fucking making up an entire story. This is unacceptable. I pray that there were cameras, I know there are cameras, but I pray that the proper authorities get their hands on those cameras so that they can invalidate everything that couple was saying that black man did to them on that street. Talking about he walked up to them and said that he was going to kill their white baby and that he was going to kill them, that he was going to kill their wife. Why would y'all do that? And then they bring it in the name. Apparently this man works for Charlie Kirk. He works for him, and he says, I know the president personally. I don't know what's going on, but this ain't it. This is absolutely not it. It's unacceptable. This is deplorable behavior. That's why we are in the state that we are right now in this country, because of people like that man and his wife. And they talking about they got 5 other kids. And they're not even from D.C. They from, I think he said, Ohio. Why would y'all choose to walk the streets of the streets of D.C. when it is under lockdown, or so to speak, or curfew? You said you got 5 or 4 other children, 5 total. Y'all gonna bring the smallest baby with y'all at nighttime walking DC when there's National Guard patrolling the street because it's supposedly unsafe? So you bring your smallest child out into harm's way? Like, come on now, make it make sense. I don't know why this is not being questioned by the authorities. The man then got arrested. They're trying to persuade, I guess, the district attorney's office or the police station, whomever, to keep the man detained, because they're trying to state a case that this man is a threat to the community, that if he comes out and harms anyone else, if he comes out and someone, that it's going to be blood on their hand, and that it's going to be a big problem, that it's not going to end well if something happens to someone. So basically he's making threats that if the police or the DA don't do what he wants them to do, that there's going to basically be consequences from his cronies. Y'all know who I'm talking about. It's going to be consequences for his white tea brothers for them letting the black man out of jail, because they don't have enough evidence at this point to really prove that what they're saying happened. At best, it's he said, she said, and we know y'all lying. You guys, they're lying. Y'all reposted a video. Go watch the damn video and come back and let's talk about it, because this don't make no sense. This shit is infuriating in terms, I can't even say the goddamn word right, but I'm pissed. My blood is boiling as I watch this recap of everything where someone put all the videos together. And it's like, come on now. Y'all can't be serious. Y'all go watch this video, come back and let's talk about it, because this is insane.
Just to bring you up to speed, this couple pictured here, Joel Tenney and his wife, Sarah Elizabeth, accused an innocent black man of claiming that he was going to unalive her and their baby. They made this false claim while literally being 1 to 2 blocks away from the White House, which is currently heavily policed. The second update is the black man in this video, and I could only get a quick screen grab, was charged with felony threats with a hate bias enhancement. Based on information I received, this man has no prior record. I have found Joel's Facebook, Joel's LinkedIn, his TikTok, and his Instagram. And it is very apparent that his intention was to incite violence. Mentioning in his Instagram caption, with all these race-motivated unalivings and the death just yesterday of Charlie Kirk. Meanwhile, we all have seen who unalived Charlie Kirk, which was not somebody that was outside of his race. And Joel Tenney has yet to correct that caption. On a post that Joel Tenney put on his Facebook page, which was far different from his Instagram, he mentions the Ukrainian woman that was unalived by a black man on a bus, and even mentions that Wonder Breads are now the minority race of the world and how they are marginalized and suffer from bigotry and racism. Because of the contacts that I have in the work that I do in DC and just overall grassroots, we are going to ensure that the brother that was unlawfully arrested because of this couple and their false claims, that he gets some semblance of justice.
You know, when it comes to this type of people, they always form up stories without for their own benefits. They always expect this type of situations to go their way. It ended up not going his way, because from the clips that we have just watched, his eyes were turning red because the lady they were talking to on the phone, should I say it's the lawyer, he was not buying the idea. He was not buying the story that they were forming up. They were not buying it because this guy doesn't have any criminal background. And mind you, they are going to end up paying a lot of money to this homeless man after tarnishing his name. Being homeless, it doesn't mean you don't have a community to fight for you. I am thinking just because this man has been homeless, they thought this man won't get anybody to back him up. They thought this man is going to rot in jail, and they thought, because when you come out and specifically say this is a black man, you're literally calling upon black Americans to also come and intervene in this same story. I am thinking they thought this man won't have anybody to come up and back up the story and follow up. That's what they thought. But here we go. This homeless black man, he actually has a community that really cares about his life. And I think they didn't even see this coming. You know, they always think they are the ones that are supposed to be perfect. They are the ones who are going through a lot in America. They are the ones who are not loved in America. They are the ones literally who are suffering in America. Mind you, this is a homeless man, and you are accusing him of something that is literally big, because when you talk about anything like unaliving, and then he's talking about, oh, I think this man is going to be very dangerous on the streets. He might kill someone's child. Who tells you that? Why are you forming up stories that are not even making sense? You don't know this man. This man doesn't have any criminal background to show that he has ever done anything like of that sort. He just wanted a black man to go to jail. And I think just because he is in the limelight, because he has ever been with a late Charlie Kirk, or maybe he has ever stood on the same line with the president of America, Donald Trump, he thought maybe he would be pardoned. Because he is MAGA, he thought he would be pardoned. He thought he would win this case. I am telling you, he might not win it, because this guy doesn't have any criminal background. And there is nothing like any proof of any voice that that shows that this man actually said it. And then he's talking about, he actually used the N word onto my wife. Those are all formed stories. We don't have any evidence. There is nothing like any evidence that shows that this black man, this homeless black man actually said it. You people stop lying. And you know what, guys? For us here in Africa, whenever someone tries to accuse you of something and actually what they want to happen to you, it doesn't really happen to you. Like they wish bad for you and it doesn't happen to you. We always sing for them a song that is like, shame upon you, a biggie boy. Ero swade, oh swade, yo. Shame upon him. Shame upon him, a big boy, a big man, to do such a thing. Shame upon him. I am sure he's going to lose a lot of money because he is accusing a homeless man. That is how God plays his games. That is how God does his thing. This man has been homeless, maybe we don't know for how long, but I'm thinking maybe even if 1 month, 1 year, 2 days, he has been homeless. But now he's not going to be homeless anymore because this man, this palm-colored man, has to pay him for tarnishing his name. Exactly. Anyway, guys, let me stop from here. Let me stop here. Let me know what you think down in the commentary about this story. In case there is anything happening, I'll keep on updating you. Otherwise, stay blessed. Have a lovely day.